everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So today we're going to add electronics to the MST DC1, the Discovery build. Finally doing this, I'm a little late. So you know, that's how things go. As you see, I've got the chassis together, got the fender flare or the inner fenders on. I'm going with Velcro for the body, so I've got little mounts made with you know, some clear plexiglass that I had laying around. This idea works pretty well. I mean, it could work better, but it's okay. It'll work fine for a scale truck that I'm trailing and not doing any hardcore crawling with. Bumpers are on. This front bumper will not stay on it. I've got another one coming. Hopefully it'll be here in time for UST. We'll see. If not, it's fine, whatever. So today what we are going to install electronics wise, of course, is a GT5 FlySky receiver. That's a given. We're going to go with the Power Hobby 729 MBL, which is a brushless, all metal geared, metal casing servo. Does 500 ounces at 7.4 volts, and it's like 0.1 seconds at 7.4 volts for speed. It's got all the speed you want. It's insane. It's an insane servo, really, for what it is. And we're going to go with a Hobbywing Fusion 1800 kV. I stole this out of the G-Made, the other G-Made I had that had the scale Jeep on it. Most of y'all haven't seen that, but you know, anyway, I stole it out of that because I don't need it in there anymore. So, and I didn't want to take one out of inventory that I need for next weekend for UST. So, other things we're going to do is a couple little upgrades. I'm going to get rid of the big fat plastic shafts that, from what I can tell, with when you put some brushless power in it, they kind of get a little wobbly. So we're going to change those. I'll tell you about those whenever we go to put them on. We're going to do a steering mod to give it a little bit more steering angle. But that's really about it. Then the next step's the body, which got most of it done-ish. Paint job on it was horrible. Hang tight, and we'll come around and we'll get installing. All right, we're back. So let's get this thing built. We're going to put the electronics in it, and then we're going to put the drive shafts on it, and then that'll be about it, really. I don't really have much else to do. So the downside to this MST truck is it is a servo on axle truck. Not really a big fan of that, but it does have the best steering capability that way, you know, realistically. It does kind of suck to have that, though. You know, when you want to have a really scale truck, you kind of want to have it to be, you want to have better than that. That's not really what you're looking for in a super scale truck, is servo on axle. But it is what it is, and that's the way we got to go. So that's what we're going to use. Get all that. Make a mess in the meantime. All right, so let's talk about this servo here. I have used this servo. It is in my Bug from NWSD, the Kraut build. It is a monster of a servo. All the power you want. Metal, nice metal geared. It's metal, nice fins, cooling, never gets hot. Does come with a servo horn as well that we will probably use because of where it's at, being a servo on axle. So how about this? My horn is not drilled all the way through. All right, I went and had to go steal me another servo horn. So this thing, the holes that the clamps go through is not drilled all the way through. So that one's really not going to be any good to me. Luckily, I had another one laying around, so I just grabbed it. So let's go ahead and do this now. All right, so I got all my screws together. I'm going to put the washers on them because they want you to run washers, which is fine. I should have had all this set up already, but I did not. All right, so this should be pretty easy. You just set it up there like how it says in the book, with the spline going towards the passenger side. We'll put I think the hardest part of this will be setting this up, getting the wire in here, because I should have done this whenever I built it, but I did not do that because I didn't have time to be messing with that at that moment, and I didn't know what kind of electronics I was going to put in that thing at that particular moment either. I kind of figured out what I was going to do after I built it. So this is not the way to do this. You always want to do this building it like it says in the book kind of deal is the proper way to do this. right then. There it goes. As you see, I'm using my nice RNA tool screwdriver. Nice. Works out really well. Okay. Don't tighten it all the way down because you need to adjust it to where you want it to sit. Easy peasy. So I'm going to test. So basically what I want to do is see how far this horn goes down too far. Dang, it's too big. All right, well, let's go a different route then. All right, we'll worry about that later. I'm gonna wind up probably using the Boom Racing narrow mount or the thin mount for the 10.2. Seems like I use that thing for about everything, so that'll probably what'll get used for that. All right, next we're going to put the fusion in. It just goes in. I want to figure out where to put wires, which I'm probably going to put them pointing down because I'm going to move. The power switch is going to go here. Battery is going to go over here as well, and then I'm going to put the receiver up here up front. We'll build a little styrene piece to go up front. So. All right, so I got it lined up to where I can put, I think I had to do a little bit of modifying on my plexiglass piece here, but I'm trying to get it to where I can do these wires where they won't be too protruding anywhere. Biggest problem with this thing is here, it used a daggum 2.5 millimeter wrench to tighten these motor screws down. They use that there. I wish companies wouldn't use that. Such aggravation. But, so we got that there. Would like to be should be good there. Tighten that up enough. All right, then, so what goes in here next is this little, make sure I'm good on, yeah, we're good. Next is this little motor plate piece that slides over that, snaps down into here. Then it's a 1.5 screw. This is not ideally where I want this wire to come out, but I think it will work. I think it'll be okay. It's not exactly like I say what I want, but if I can make it work, I can make it work. So the biggest problem is going to be trying to get this to go through here, because I'm going to try and put the battery on one of these little side plates. Maybe, if I can make it work. Cool, that'll work. That gets it right where I need it to be. That's fine. Power switch I got to figure out, but so what I'm going to do is probably build me a piece of styrene plate to go across here to put the receiver, so it'll be right here in the front, because this thing needs all the weight it can get in the front, because it's going to have a bunch of weight up top, and it's going to have you know, it's a big body, so it's going to have weight up top, so it needs to have the weight in the front. So next step's going to be drive shafts. All right, so I was sitting here looking at these drive shafts. I'll show you a picture, or I'll show you what these things look like. Of course, it's a telescoping, you know, like every other company out there's drive shafts. They're just big, bulky. I've seen these bend really easy because there's too many of them, so it doesn't take a lot of pressure to make them, you know, once they're out, you put a little bit of power to them, they'll start to bend and twist. These start to waller out pretty quickly from what I've seen. So I was like, you know what can I use in place of this? And I was just going to put some boom ones on here because, you know, why not? They'll work. So I've wound up figuring out that the JuneFac 10.2 RTR set works perfectly for this. A set of these two is $48. They're great. They are in phase, which a lot of people seem to care about. So these are them right here. They're carbon steel. They are nice and they're splined. They only really spline one way, but see, you can do them the wrong way as far as phasing goes, but you got them both in the right spot. The long one goes in the back, and then the short one goes in the front, just like those there, long and short. So we'll put them on. The only thing that I don't like about these, where they bolt in, is not a pass-through screw that goes through here. What you do is line them up with the hole and then put the set screw through, and it kind of goes into the hole a little bit. And that's fine, it works great, but it could be a little bit of a better setup than that. All right, so let's put these things on. So I've got these pre-done. I have had them on the truck already because I wanted to make sure they fit before I went to talking about them, kind of deal. So we're going to slide this on here. Let's drop down enough to so you know it's there. Tip it over on its side. Now we'll put this in here. All right, so that's done. Still have to figure out what to do with that. All right, so now let's talk about steering on this thing. So stock steering on this truck is not bad per se, but it's not great either. So let's look at this. That's maximum steering. Well, hang on, I get it right. That's maximum steering stock. And when you modify it, you get a lot more out of it. That's stock. It's not stock. The difference is there is a little stopper here in the axle that you have to cut off that gives you, it's a stopper that like the knuckle hits it, see? So all we do is just go in and chop it off. No big deal. The only thing you really got to worry about is watch your, you know, EPAs and things like that. Make sure you're not, let me get this cut right here, hang on. Yeah, there we go. So you just chop the nub off and then you get all the steering. That's crazy, steering there. So that's all you really got to do. So all I got left to do is figure out where I'm going to put battery, build a receiver plate, which won't be too bad, I don't think. So that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Just electronics install. I wanted to show you that. I will have another video out probably in a couple days about the body, stuff like that. So hang tight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.